The snow is starting to fall, and things are heating up inside the gym. Rally round to see this show, as we promise to bring you all the best highlights. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Schmidt. We have some fun stuff to bring everybody.
We do. The season is rolling right along, for sure. Got a little bit of snow, a little bit of colder weather. Unfortunately, we're going back into the mid-30s at the end of the week, but then right back into it. So hopefully, we can get some more actual Mother Nature-made snow to help out. But the course actually pretty good shape for the races this past week. We'll get to that in a moment. We start with the hockey teams. Boys hockey team traveled north for a couple of games over the weekend. It started with a game against Hibbing Chisholm on Friday night. SLPCR comes up with a 5-3 win. Engstrom and Wackman each, and Bushy also all with a goal and an assist. A couple of assists for Andrew Clark. Drew Lindquist and Brody Herzog also had goals in that contest. On Saturday, they took on Rock Ridge, which is an amalgamation of teams up along the Iron Range, and Rock Ridge handed them a 4-3 defeat. Teddy Wackman a 3-point night with a goal and 2 helpers. Caden Sukup had a goal and an assist, and a pair of assists for Brody Herzog. Drew Lindquist scored again, so back-to-back games with goals for him. Good to see them scoring.
Yes, absolutely.
And they'll trade wins with losses, a 7-8 record, not too bad. A couple of big games this week. They host Blaine, which Blaine is a couple games over 500. They're going to be tough. And Andover actually down a bit this year.
They are.
But they are at Andover on Saturday.
Well, Rock Ridge, it kind of sounds like a team that maybe Barney Rubble would coach. But I just had to get that in there. But the point I really want to make is that our friend Bill Hupp, he is going to be on the broadcast on Thursday's game. Sent me a text today. Asked me a few questions, wanted to know what the boys' nickname was of the team, and I said there is not one.
They are SLPCR. That is who they are. Speaking of those who are aforementioned non-nameable,
that throw you off a little?
No nickname teams rolls us right into the Champlain Park Coon Rapids girls squad. A couple of conference games this past week started with Armstrong Cooper and a nice 7-1 win for the girls in that one. Lily McKenzie notching her 5th hat trick of the season. She also had an assist. Sydney Bernovic had a couple of each. June Semling a 3-point effort as well. A couple of assists for Callie Alphen and Kylie Aswegan. Then on Saturday, it was Gentry Academy. They battled to a 2-2 draw. Lily McKenzie and Livy Reed had the goals for Champlain Park Coon Rapids. Anderson, Peterson, Bernovic had assists. They are now 12-6-1, and a huge contest coming up on Tuesday. They host Centennial Spring Lake Park, which had been ranked number 1, has now fallen to 3, but a very tough customer.
They are really good. Only 2 losses on the season, and they've beaten some teams that obviously are right there. They beat Maple Grove a couple of times, and they beat Minnetonka 3-2. That's going to be a tough one for the girls for sure.
Well, and then the girls will take on Crookston on Saturday. The wrestling squad only had one event last week, but it was a big one, hosting a tri-meet on Friday night. The Champlain Park Rebels and Andover Huskies came to the Fieldhouse representing just the second and third conference duels of the season. It started with a Rebels squad that is struggling with numbers and dealing with injuries at the same time. It meant they gave the home team 3 forfeits right off the bat. When they did make it to the mat, the Cardinals were not very hospitable. Elijah Hibbler was dominant at 121, racked up 5 takedowns on his way to a 25-5 tech ball in 3 minutes flat. Junior captain Jack Bertenstein didn't waste that much time. 1 takedown right to the mat, into the cradle, locks up the pin at 133 in just 47 seconds. Co-captain Tristan Hargrave gets the Cardinals another tech fall at 152. He ends it right at the 5-minute mark with an 18-3 victory. There were only 2 matches that went the distance in this one, and the teams split those decisions. Champlain Park got a 4-1 win at 114, and this is 189 where Jake Califoot gets a third period takedown to help secure his 11-5 victory. Senior heavyweight Hayden Skillings has earned his way into the state's top 10, and he made quick work of the Rebels' Brandon Finley. He gets him wrapped up chest to chest, gets the pin in just 55 seconds. Cardinals cruise to a 49-19 win.
Well, the Huskies had similar success against the Rebels, which set up a great battle in the night's main event. It was Parents' Night for the Cardinals, and they were hoping to celebrate by sweeping up their first conference tri-meet of the year. Al John sets a strong tone for the team at 107. He gets the very early takedown and immediately wraps his man up in the cradle, puts this baby to bed in just 53 seconds. A nice win for Alex. First of 5 matches coming up here, ended in pins. Unfortunately, Andover had 3 in a row before Bridenstine gets another Cardinals win at 133. He will also use the cradle. He has the fastest pin of the night, getting the slap on the mat in just 33 seconds. But the Cardinals trail 18-12. Andover scored a tech fall at 139. Aiden Hufferston trying to answer for the Cardinals at 145. He's not able to get a tech fall, but a third period takedown helps him earn a 15-4 major decision. Unfortunately, the Huskies won the next 4 matches to secure the win before the Cardinals' big boys finished strong. Hussein Alassane, a bit of a unconventional pin, leaning back into his opponent's chest to end the 215-pound battle early in that third period. And finally, Hayden Skillings fell behind in the first period at heavyweight, but then came out strong in the second. Put Tremaine Davis onto his back and got the second pin of the night for him at 312, but Andover hands the Cardinals a 42-28 loss.
Yeah, Hayden is definitely a man on a mission for the Cardinals at heavyweight this year, and it was funny because he got taken down and gave up some back points in that first period. I think he was down 7-0. Just kind of shook his head, a little bit of a smirk on his face between periods, and then dominated, put his man on his back in just over a minute of that second period to get his second pin of the night.
He has a lot of confidence, that young man does, and I knew, and I had confidence for him actually, because I could see the look in his eye when he came out in that second period, and he said, no, I'm down here, but I'm going to win this one. He did.
They have another tri-meet this week at Blaine. Elk River will also be there. That's on Thursday. They will be at the Eastview Invitational on Saturday. Gymnastics team had a couple of events last week. On Thursday, they took on Elk River and scored a 112.125. That's the best score of the season so far for the squad. Callie Barker placed best in almost every event. Angel Marshall also doing very well. She was 8th place in the vault. Elk River had, you see, with a 138, they put up a monster number. They had the top 3 spots locked up in just about every event all night long. But Barker and Marshall were able to finish 3rd and 4th in the all-around. Brittany Roller also factoring in for the team. I bet she had a 5th place finish on the beam. On Saturday, they were in Moorhead for an invitational, and they did very well. Coach Habel sent me an email, said the girls did very well. They scored into the 119s.
Nice.
So by far their best score of the season. They did not have official results, so hopefully we'll be able to get those and pass those along for you next week on Sports Night. They are at Park Center on Wednesday this week. Then they are at Champlain Park on Friday, and Maple Grove will also be there, so that will be a double duel. Swimming and diving team had a couple of events last week. On Thursday, they took on Champlain, and I meant to double check my numbers, but Haley Scholl, the coach, said that, I think she said there were 8 individuals who had personal bests in this event, and everybody just continuing to get better. I know she said she was super psyched about the way that they had swam against Champlain Park. There you see Landon Egerstrom had a couple of first place finishes, only blue ribbons of the night in both 50 free and 100 free. Jackson Ling was 2nd place in the 200 free, and Michael Courier was right behind him in 3rd. La Montagne took 2nd place in the IM. Carter Ling had 2nd place in the butterfly. Dean Tronson was 3rd place in the butterfly, and the 200 medley relay team was 2nd place in that event. Well, it's always nice to head into big meets feeling good, so the Cardinals' success on Thursday helped buoy their hopes going into Saturday's true team meet. The Cardinals aren't delusional. They went in to the meet knowing they don't have the depth to be a true contender. However, they also knew this was a great chance to see how they match up individually against all of the best their section has to offer. CTN has served as the pool camera for this event for years. Pun fully intended for my friend Howie Shapiro, but it also explains why we're not zooming in on the Cardinals. This is the end of the 200 freestyle. Jackson Ling coming to the wall in 4th place, a solid finish in 156.19, got him on the podium, got him some hardware, and it wasn't the last time he was up there either. Final of the 100 butterfly, Jackson in lane 2 this time, toward the bottom of your screen. He'll get his way to the wall in 57.83, takes 6th place, another medal to take home and put in the trophy case. Maybe it's the lane. 100 backstroke, and Ben Effiam is in the 2nd lane as well, and he will also race to a 6th place finish. He touches up in 1 minute, 3.11 seconds, and he too gets a ribbon and a medal around his neck. And they had some company for the Cardinals also medaling in that event, or in that meet. The 200 medley relay team finished 5th. 200 freestyle relay team was in 8th. Landon Egerstrom was also in the finals of the 50 freestyle. A couple of guys right outside of it. Egerstrom in the 100 free, Michael Courier in both the 200 and 500 freestyles. Luke Courier finished 12th place in diving, and Grant LaMontagne was in 13th place in the 200 IM. And they have a tournament coming up on Saturday at their host pool, someplace they're very familiar with, an event similar, some different teams coming in, an opportunity to see, again, going for individual glory. Then the head-to-head match with their pool mates from Blaine is next Tuesday, the 21st.
Really nice to see the guys getting some hardware, obviously, and get a chance to get up on the podium and it's really nice to see the fact that they're bettering their times each and every week and each and every event, and that's what they hope to do.
Yeah, and if they can get more and more bodies,
exactly.
That's something so many teams are struggling with, for sure.
Well, the Nordic ski teams had a couple of big events last week, starting with a conference sprint relay at Elm Creek on Thursday. Sprint and relay races have increased in popularity and importance over the last few years since the high school league added them to the state meets. So this is an event a lot of athletes circle on their calendars early on. One more recent weather has helped the course in keep that course in tip-top shape for these events. It was as close as the ideal as you can get on Thursday. Light snow falling from the start. Cardinals returned a state tournament relay team from last season. Lachlan Demmer and L.B. Ludwig finished 14th at state last year. They teamed up to finish 2nd in the prelims, but in the finals, Demmer teamed with Joshua Hyatt. Although their paces were a little slower in the finals, the Cardinals still grabbed the 2nd place spot overall, finishing in a time of 11:41. Nice finish there. I love the snow coming down as well.
It's idyllic.
It's perfect.
It's like a Norman Rockwell.
It is, or his brother Henry. On the girls' side, the Cardinals have been led all season long by sophomore Ruby Demmer and freshman Bethany Law. So no surprise to see them team up for the relay races. And they did well. Demmer setting them up, Law knocking them down. They were 5th in the prelims and stepped up to 4th place in the finals, finished behind the 3 teams from Elk River. Law got to the finish line in a time of 13:21, and there she is hustling to get to cross that line.
That tells you something about the strength of the Elk River squad for them to put up the top 3 finishes in that finals. Most of the other teams like Coon Rapids only able to qualify 1 duo for the finals, and they take the top 3 spots. There's a look at the preliminary finishes for. You can see Ludwig Demmer at 11:07 in their heat race, so they really flew. And I did hear that he was hurt in a crash at the end of that. They are hoping he will be back before the end of the season, and definitely have our fingers crossed for him. Again, he's a returning state entrant. They'd love to see him back in time to compete for a chance to get back there. On the flip side, the girls. Depth pieces finishing nicely in 14th and 15th place overall. They will be, Mesabi East. I almost forgot. They were up in Bowabic, up to Giants Ridge for the Mesabi East Invite. This is one of the largest cross-country events of the year in the upper Midwest. I think there are 50-some teams in each event. So the Cardinals boys finishing in 33rd. Lachlan Demmer, a third place overall finish in the Classic. Your team score comes from the top two in Classic and top two in freestyle. You see Demmer and Hyatt handled the Classic for the boys, while Wing and Falk were their freestyle finishers. Finished in 33rd place overall. Girls a little bit better, 24th place overall. Bethany Law and Ella Legree handled the Classic. Ruby Demmer was 32nd place in the freestyle, with Megan Fulmer in 89th place. And they have an event this week at Elm Creek on Wednesday, and then they have a relay, another relay event coming up on Saturday. Alpine ski team had its second race last week. We did not get results from that. We will hopefully have those for you next week. They have their third meet, I believe, at Spirit Mountain Wild Mountain coming up on Thursday this week. Then they have a tournament at Trollhagen on Saturday. Boys basketball team started the week with a trip to Totino Grace. And this is one they'd just as soon forget. A nice game for Jackson Young, putting up 26 points, or 28 points, 7 points, 7 rebounds. But that's all the scoring. 4 different guys, and the rest of the team combined for just 13 points. Tough way to go if you're, or I guess they combined for 15 points.
15, yep.
That's a tough way to play. Not going to win a lot of games if you're only putting 43 points on the board. Well, the Cardinals headed to Elk River on Thursday, looking for a bounce-back game against a team in a very similar position. The Elks lost their first 5 games of the season. They were just 2-6 so far, and they had suffered a lopsided loss to Champlin Park on Tuesday. So both teams were looking at this as a great chance to get a much-needed first conference win of the year. Tight ball game early, and this is what feeling it looks like. Tegan Plowman-Tate from way outside. I put the Cardinals up by 1. He had nothing but that. And it was back and forth throughout the first half. Kieran Wymore, great anticipation, jumps the pass lane, and he's all alone. The junior had a season-best 10 points. Cardinals had a 1-point lead at the half. Elks came out stronger in the second, though, and they start to take control. Max Spanier, one of 3 Elk River players with 20 points or more. That put them up by 11. Cardinals not going away, though. How about TPT from way out again? He had a game-high 26 points for the Cardinals. And he wasn't alone. 4 Cardinals in double digits, including Jeremy Oddie, who had 14. That one got it back to a 2-point game. But the Elks always had an answer. Dominic Webster left alone behind the defense. Elks find him, throws it down to his 20 points. That put Elk River back in front. And they're able to stay there the rest of the way. Levi Harris left with an open look from the right wing, hits a 3. He had a team-high 24. Elks earned the 93-87 win.
Obviously loves to see 87 points put up by the Cardinals.
Yes.
Unfortunately, 93 against them. But, they lost to Totino's a really good team.
Absolutely. I think they're 6th in the state,
Yeah,
both boys and girls.
Yeah, they play well defensively as well, too. So, but I think it's a tough loss to Elk River. I think they felt they had an opportunity to get one on the road.
And a huge bounce back for the offense, right?
Absolutely.
After being held to 43 points.
Absolutely.
And Tegan obviously, took that 7-point effort kind of personally, or 6-point effort personally against Totino. So he kind of blew up, and a double-double for Jackson, almost a triple-double in the game against Elk River. 19 points, 11 boards, 9 assists. So, but yeah, you put up 87, that's great. You almost doubled your output from the night before. You more than doubled the output from the night before, but 93 against, and you give up 20 plus to 3 different players.
Right, exactly.
A lot of outside shooting, too.
Absolutely.
So a rare Monday night game for the Cardinals tonight. They are playing against Maple Grove. They are at Osseo on Wednesday, and they will host Cambridge Isanti on Friday.
And we'll be there, by the way.
We will be there.
We will be there. Well, the girls' basketball team started last week with one of their toughest challenges of the season so far. The Totino Grace Eagles, they came in at 7-2, ranked 6th in Class 3A. They were coming off a holiday tournament championship that included 2 runaway wins and a victory over a highly ranked 4A team, so they'd be very hard to stop. Both teams struggled on offense early, but once the Eagles started scoring, they soared to a huge lead. Amelia Saylor's three-pointer helped Totino open up a 19-2 lead. Coon Rapids, meanwhile, didn't have a basket from the floor until almost 8 minutes in. Aaliyah Graham, fighting her way down the lane, gets the bucket and the foul. Now, those Cardinals don't back down, but they never threaten the lead. Jakaya Palmer with a three-pointer from the left wing. Still, it's Totino Grace up 43-14 at the break. And they don't back off in the second. They got offense from everywhere. Erica Walsh with a three-pointer, and they open up a half with a 14-2 run. Cardinals had only points from 3 players in this one. Palmer led the way with 15 points. Graham added 11. Rochelle Cooper had 8. Eagles had points from 10 different players, and they scored in all different ways. Pretty behind-the-back pass from Radabot and Sophia Pearson. To finish this fast break, Eagles run away with the win by an 81-34 score.
Yeah, it's a pretty good basketball team. They were fun to watch. Their pressure, full court defense just caused all kinds of problems. And you know, Coach Bierman talked about it at the half. You know, really showed our youth and our inexperience, our inability to handle that kind of pressure. It cracked us, and you know, they had to find a way to get better. They did move the ball a little bit better in the second half. Totino lightened up on the defensive pressure at the same time.
A lot of pressure from them.
But that's a really good basketball team. The Cardinals, though, had Elk River on Thursday, and another lopsided loss, unfortunately, to the Elks, 77-47, the final in that one. Aaliyah Graham led the way with 18 points, 6 assists. Jakaya Palmer had a dozen plus 3 steals. A little bit better scoring, a little more depth, with Cooper having 7, Chloe Porish added 5, and Carpenter had 3 points and 3 boards. Busy week for the girls as well. They are also at Maple Grove tonight, and they will host Osseo on Wednesday, and then they are at Apple Valley on Saturday, and that is a definite opportunity. The Eagles coming into this week at just 1-10 on the season.
Yeah, hopefully they, Maple Grove obviously is going to be tough, and Osseo, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, an opportunity to get a win at Apple Valley would be wonderful. For
and I think Osceo's like only 3-4 wins.
They've an opportunity.
Yeah, that's a winnable game, and Apple Valley as well. So fingers crossed for the girls to have some success, and we'll be talking about that next week on Sportsnight, of course. Here's what we have coming up for you here on CTN. We've got girls hockey against the 3rd-ranked Centennial Spring Lake Park squad on Tuesday. Boys basketball against Cambridge Isani on Friday. Next week, it's boys hockey against New Prague. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. To the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.